Hello, welcome to iansstudio. I'm Ian and Butterfield. In this video, I'm going to show you how I created a promotional image for a one-man theatre production. The steps will take you through the work in the studio, including lighting and how I did it as a self-portrait, and then an extract from a live stream where I did the editing on the image. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, I'm in the studio this afternoon because I need to create a special self-portrait. I'm doing a one-man theatre show in a few weeks' time, and I need an image to help promote the show. But I'm going to do it a little bit different. It's going to be a rear view in character, and it's going to be lit from behind. So it'll be a very dramatic image. The lighting setup I'm going to use is this one, where you can see the two lights behind. I'm using a couple of softboxes just to provide that rim lighting effect, and what we should see is a dark body with just an outline effect on there. So first things first, let's get the lights set up. That's the lights in approximately the correct place. I now need to take a light meter reading. I'm going to set the lights for my usual studio settings of f8, 125th of a second, ISO 100, and although it's irrelevant on this occasion, I'll still set the white balance to flash, as I always do when I'm working in the studio. And actually, it's already set at f8. That's largely because I'm used to working in the studio here, and therefore setting the lights up, the settings are second nature to me because I've done it before. The next problem is how to focus when I'm in front of the camera and there's nobody here to help. Well, the easy answer to that is to use a light stand. I place that on the mark that's on the floor, which is where I'm going to be standing. I can extend this up, and the trick is to bring it up to approximately my height so that I can see where I will be in the frame, which is about there. And then at the camera, I can focus on that. I can do a couple of test shots on that, make sure everything's working and the light looks okay, and then at that point I can get changed and I should be able to take the shots with me in the image. So now I've got the lighting stand in place. I've focused the camera on there. I've put a remote trigger on the camera. I've got the other one in my hand here, so I can trigger the camera and the flash. I can now remove that out of the way. There's a mark on the floor so I know where to stand. So that's all there is to it. Now, in terms of the pose that I'm doing, the monologues and the show that I'm doing is telling the story of the death and resurrection of Jesus. So I wanted to capture a flavour of that, a pose that's reminiscent of the crucifixion. So I'm going to go with something sort of along these lines. Now my hands are out of shot, so there's no reason why I can't just hold the controls in my hands while I'm shooting. So that's the images created. Now the next thing I need to do is edit them in Lightroom, do the post-production, convert to black and white, and make them a bit contrasty and a bit punchy. So join me in a little while when I've got Lightroom fired up and I can show you how I do that. So I've only pulled into here a small selection of the images to choose from, and what you'll see on here is they look very different to the image I've been showing you. And the ones up at the top, let me just go full screen on that for you. There are a couple of things. What I had in mind was this sort of V shape originally with the image, but as I was working on it, I thought, no, I'm better off with the arms more horizontal. And actually, of all the images that I got, I ended up using this final shot, which may look a little bit of an odd one, because for those of you who've been to my studio will know I always say do your cropping in camera, not in post-production. But I deliberately shot this one really wide because I knew I would want two different images from it. Knowing that the way the images are presented for noticers at the church, they want this horizontal image that you've already seen. I much prefer the vertical A4 format. So I shot this image wide so that I could use the same image in the two aspect ratios.
Yep.
So this is actually the one I did the work with. So let me go into the develop module and I'll show you what I actually did with it. Now, this is going to be tricky because the light on this screen is awful for what I'm doing on here, to be able to see what's going on. So I've got my notes from before. Now, let me just bring out the side panel. Now, the first decision on this is, before I do anything else, is to set the white balance on it. So picking up the dropper, I did set the white balance to tungsten in the in camera, but I also know there is a color cast on here, which you can probably see and I can't on here. No. But if I correct that first of all before I do anything else, even though my aim is to go to black and white, getting rid of the color cast gives you a better black and white conversion afterwards. So that's
quick question, if I may.
Yeah,
just you say you set the white balance to tungsten.
Not tungsten. What am I saying? I'm saying flash. I said flash in the video.
That confused me.
No, thank you. No, I'm just thinking. I was thinking theatre. I'm thinking theatre, and all the time with theatre, it's set it to tungsten. Yeah. Oh, it's one of those days. Right. So, yeah, all the technology is working. My brain isn't. Right. So now I've got the white balance right. I want to do the crop. So. R is shortcut for it, and I'm going to choose well, let's go with the 4:6 crop on there, and just this is going to be so hard when the machine's struggling at the moment.
Yeah, the laptop's doing a lot of work for the screen.
It's having to do an awful lot of work. Yeah. Now with I want just a little bit of the arm in, and I want some space at the top because that's where I'm going to be putting the text. So that's my crop on there. The next decision to make on it is the black and white. Now, profiles. You can tell the black and white profile I use a lot because it's on here. Let me just go to full screen on this so you can see things a little bit better.
Black and white number 3.
Black and white number 3 built-in profile, which I really like the punchiness of that particular profile. So having done that, the next thing I want to do is I want to make this even more punchy. The first place to go, clarity slider, and let's just bring it right up to give that effect. Now, in bringing that up, it's made these areas in the background less dark than I particularly want them. So I'm going to bring the blacks down. I bring those down to the 40s sort of area. That gives it a bit more punch on the image, and I'll probably just play around with the contrast a little bit just to add a bit more on there. And to be honest with you, that's actually probably about all I need.
I'm going to stand up and have a look at this.
Yeah. And yes, everything's blown out to black on the back there, but that's what I want. I want this black area so that it's a very sort of stylized image. My initial thought, that's not changed over. Let's go out. That's it. Yeah, my initial thought when I was creating the image was I thought maybe I can use my back as a place for putting text, but actually it didn't work out quite like that. What happened was I found it would work better. So when this catches up with me, I'll show you the final result. And I just went into Photoshop and just added the text on. And I've got 3 different versions of it here, which is this one that you've already seen.
Yep.
On there. And then we have the vertical version, and that's why I did the different crop. So it's tighter in on the arms, comes down lower with it. The one extra thing I did with that, at the bottom half of it, I put a graduated filter just to take the exposure down, so it fades into black where the text is.
Where the copy's going.
Yeah, where the copy text is going to go.
Just to bring up the point that was mentioned very earlier in the stream, talking about resolution, talking about the EOS R5, what's the final image going to be used for? This was shot on a 22 megapixel camera, the 5D3, and it's still plenty shooting wide and cropping in and doing both these formats for the application that it's going into. So how much resolution that you need? Well, what's being asked from your clients? At that point, what's their final need, prints or otherwise? So that really should dictate the resolution.
Absolutely. And I knew that the maximum I was ever going to do anything with this would be A4, and there's plenty of resolution there for A4 on that, which is why I was able to shoot wide on it, which is not something I normally recommend, but I knew for this particular image I could easily do that. I hope you found that video helpful with the information from studio through edit. Unfortunately, the one-man show that the poster was going to promote had to be cancelled due to COVID-19. Keep safe, keep watching, and keep making great photos. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down here so you'll get notified of future videos. Up here is a playlist of videos similar to this one, and here's one specific video that I think you will like, whereas down here is one that YouTube thinks you'll like. Until next time, keep making great photos. Bye for now.